In this video, I'll show you how to use a MIDI controller to adjust the DCTL sliders here in DaVinci. Right now, I can't change anything yet, so I'll just launch the program. Double-click to open it, and this is what it looks like. You can see this overlay here. You can toggle it on and off, and if the position isn't quite right, you can adjust the X and Y position, and the width and the height. You want to set it up so that the DCTL name is visible. Then I just click Scan DCTL and it shows me the name and all the sliders. I click Save to save it as a preset. This window is set to on top, meaning I can have the DaVinci window open and the mono MIDI window will still be visible. Now I can save my other DCTLs such as color shift, the look DCTL and the print. Now I can adjust the first knob to change the exposure slider. The second knob will adjust the temp, and the next one tint, and the next one contrast, and so on. With exposure, I have to turn quite a bit to move the slider. I can adjust the sensitivity here. And after doing that, I need to make sure I click Save. Now, after that change, I only need a small movement, and the exposure slider responds much more quickly. You can disable the overlay rectangle here and minimize the window. And we can still adjust all the sliders using the knobs. Now when I switch over to color shift, you'll notice the title changes too. That's because we have the preset saved, and whenever you switch to a different DCTL, it updates. But sometimes that update takes a moment. So right now it's not quite working. But there it goes. It's not always instant, but it works. You can also use keyboard shortcuts to switch to a different note, and this tends to be a bit more reliable, as you can see. You can also disable notes, but the DCTLs always need to stay visible. You can't hide this effects panel. It has to remain on screen. Now I'll switch over to the lab DCTL, click Reset, and use my MIDI controller to set the exposure. Here we have temp, tint, contrast, pivot, tone compression, highlights, black point, shadows, shadow range, saturation, subtractive saturation, deep saturation, red density, and so on. The tool shows 16 sliders because we have 16 knobs on the controller. And instead of having green density mapped on knob 16, I could change the CC value for green density and set it to 99. And change the value for bleach bypass to 15. Click Save, and now when I move the last knob on the controller, I'm changing the bleach bypass slider. If I switch to another preset and then back, you'll see that the bleach bypass slider is now highlighted as well. If I'm only going to use the lab DCTL, I can set Auto Detect to off. So the tool stops scanning the screen and stops checking whether the DCTL has changed. If I then select the color shift DCTL, the lab preset will stay selected. Now this window, when it's set to on top, it won't close on its own. I can click over in DaVinci and the window stays active. But if I switch to normal and then click in DaVinci, the window closes and I have to reopen it from the taskbar every time. With on top, the window always stays visible unless I click the minus icon here. We can also disconnect the MIDI hardware if we want or hit refresh. And this area here always shows the current status. Now, why is the sensitivity different for different sliders? The exposure slider runs from -4 to +4. Temp goes from -1 to 1. So for exposure, we want a higher sensitivity value compared to temp and tint. Shadow range goes from 100 to 200. So for shadow range, I want a fairly small sensitivity value, while for exposure, I'd rather have a higher one. And very important, anytime you make changes like these, always click Save. And when you close the tool, it will save all those presets. About stability, the tool is very stable. For this demonstration, I'm now aggressively twisting the knobs as fast as I can. And you can see the tool still works fine and the slider response is great. And that's what makes this so useful. I'm focused entirely on the image. I don't have to follow the mouse and my eyes stays on the image. I can give my full attention to what I'm actually grading. And that means I can work faster and get better results. There is a free demo version available on my website, and there you will also find more details on how to set this up. Have a great day, and I see you in the next video.